Have you ever wondered why the US, a country 1,000 miles away, cares about a country called Venezuela? Well, that's something actually we're going to talk about today. If you want to venture out of this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's venture out. What if I told you it's not really about democracy or human rights? You know what it's about, kind of? It's about control, oil, and influence. And who gets to play the game on America's terms? Venezuela sits on the largest oil reserve in the entire world, even bigger than Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, all these countries. But today, that country is what? Struggling, hyperinflation, blackouts, sanctions, and a government that the U.S. calls a dictatorship. Maduro, who's the current president of Venezuela, took power in 2013 after Chavez died. And he became one of Washington's biggest villains. Remember Saddam Hussein? He's something like that. The U.S. accuses him of what? Corruption, election fraud, human rights abuses, and what now? Drug dealing. But here's the twist. For decades, the U.S. loved Venezuela and its oil. When Chavez came to power in 1999, Venezuela was still selling billions of dollars worth of oil to who? To America. Everything changed when Chavez started nationalizing oil. Basically taking control from what? Foreign companies and giving it back to the state. Classic communism, right? When Maduro continued the path, Washington was extremely unhappy about it. Let's think for a second. If Venezuela didn't have the largest oil in the world, do we really think that they would be in the news, or would they interest Washington? Well, oil is the livelihood of a modern world, and whoever controls it controls the game. So what did the U.S. do? They imposed massive sanctions, cutting Venezuela off from the global grid. And what is the global grid? Financial systems. They froze billions in assets, including control of National Oil Company's U.S. branch, okay? And they recognized another man, completely somebody else who hasn't been elected yet, Juan Guaido, as the interim president. I mean, just think about that for a quick second. The U.S. just decided who's going to run Venezuela. It sounds crazy, right? But this is not new. This has been happening for decades. Let's go back for a quick second to 1954. Guatemala, a country we don't even talk about today, right? Why? Because it's very friendly. An American company that's called the United Fruit Company, which owned huge banana plantations there. There was a president there in 1954 named Jacobo Arbenz. You know what he did? He decided to give some of the land back to poor farmers. And then the United States got a little bit unhappy about it. They complained to the U.S. So the CIA, you know what they do? They organized a coup. They overthrew him and put a very friendly person, like somebody they're trying to do right now in Venezuela. All for what? For bananas. Does this sound kind of familiar? Oil, bananas, plus or minus the same thing, right? This tells you how far U.S. lobbying could go. It's actually overthrowing a government. I'll bring you another example. Let's go back to 1953. Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, who was the president, or the duly elected president of Iran. He did the exact same thing that Chavez did after 1999. He nationalized Iran's oil. And then, can we remember who came to power? The Shah of Iran, the Kingdom of Iran, right? They came into power and everybody was happy with them. The people were happy, United States was happy until 1979, when he got overthrown by Ayatollah Khomeini. And today, Iran again is vilified. Iran is a corrupt country. Iran fakes elections, has election fraud, and so on and so forth. This is all familiar rhetoric. And can you guys remember the most recent one? Let's go back to 2003. Weapons of mass destructions. Where were they? Did we find them? I don't think so, but that's not the point. We overthrew a government that we did not recognize as a friendly one. And then after that, we had this fantastic saying, if you're not friends with us, we'll bring democracy to your country. And that's exactly what we're doing. We want to bring democracy to Venezuela right now. When countries stop following Washington's playbook, when they nationalize certain natural resources, suddenly, they become a dictatorship. Suddenly their people need freedom. Suddenly you become a drug lord. From Guatemala's bananas to Iraq's weapons of mass destructions to Venezuela's dictatorship, the story plus or minus is the same. It's the same movie, just a different set. The sets have been changed. Maybe the real lesson is not about socialism versus capitalism. Maybe it's not about being left-wing, right-wing, Democrat, Republican, happy or unhappy. The real reason, in my opinion, is about control. And I can't blame America for doing so. If you want to be the leading country in the world, you want to be the superpower of the world, you must maintain control. It may be unfortunate, And truly, people may suffer. People of Venezuela are suffering today. But I can tell you it's not because of the U.S. It's because of the decisions that the Venezuelan government did. You don't want your people suffer? Maintain fantastic relationships. You gotta let your ego go for a second. And that current president, the way from the things that I see, he has a massive ego. It applies to the same thing in business. You may not be happy with your competitor. You may not be happy with your vendor. You may not be happy with the person who's giving you work to do, but you gotta still play ball in order for you to survive, in order for your business to grow. And this is the same thing. Running a country is no different than running a business, because every business has a CEO, just like every country has a leader. I have a question, for you. If Venezuela is so friendly with China, is so friendly with Russia, why aren't you not friendly with your neighbor upstairs? Why are you not friendly with the US? You don't want to give in? Give in to what? Your people are suffering. Your city is in chaos. You have a mismanaged country. You're selling drugs to the United States, which the US is unhappy. It's called leverage, right? You have oil, US has power, US has military, and you have something so critical to the entire world that you can leverage yourself with anything you want. You want money, you want weapons. Oil is something that you can actually leverage yourself with. I think Maduro is just simply having an ego problem. I can put it down just simply on that.